buckle up because I'm going to walk you through a simple 3-step process for actually getting quality online clients from your content. Now, over the last few weeks, I signed 11 clients while only having around 15 DM conversations. Now, the truth is, it wasn't always that easy. Certainly not. Like a few years back, my online fitness business, when I was running it, was bouncing between 5 and 15K per month, but it was inconsistent and it was stressful and honestly was burning me the heck out. Like I was posting content every day and I'd grown a little bit of a following, right? I was doing pretty well by most people's standards, but I knew I had more in the tank, like way freaking more. But something was off. There was some content secret that I thought the big guys were doing that I apparently wasn't. I was seeing all these people online that were freaking crushing it. And I was like, what are they doing that I'm not doing to where they are hitting like 30K, 40K, 100K type months? Now, here I was posting workouts and inspirational quotes and other random kind of spray and pray type advice, but it just wasn't bringing me the clients that I really wanted to work with. Even though I was getting at times like hundreds of likes on my content. Now, long story short, I tried a bunch of stuff and I went down a deep rabbit hole, which I'll explain more in a second. And one day, I made a particular kind of post that I had never made before. And it generated me over 100 leads, actual quality leads. Now, I had gotten a lot of engagement on content before, so I wasn't a stranger to getting leads, but these were actually, it was different this time. These were quality leads. Now, I ended up going live and using some of the stuff that I had learned down this rabbit hole, which I'll explain more in a second. And ironically, during that time, I actually got 11 clients too. 11's like my magic number, by the way. I even got chosen as number 11 on American Ninja Warrior. So weird. Anyways, just realize that now. But I got 11 clients then, and I made $33,000 that month in cash collected. And it all started from one post and one live video. Now, the concept here that I attributed to the success was brand messaging. And I don't mean messaging as in like DMing or communicating with people. I mean messaging as the words that you use in your content and in your marketing. And I'm going to share what I learned here with you. Because the truth is, when you put the right words in the right order in front of the right people, getting clients becomes much more of an attraction process versus feeling like a freaking uphill battle. Now, the big idea here is when you say all of the psychological buying triggers in your content, more people will buy your stuff. You see, the problem with posting tons of content every day, like you see some of the, like most people are doing, or running ads or DMing 50 people a day, doing challenges, giveaways, or any of these fancy like AI, these new AI tactics, it's that information in itself is a commodity. Like imagine walking outside right now and finding diamonds all over the ground, like millions of diamonds, just like you would find, I don't know, like pebbles or rocks or blades of grass even, right? And then you go to the jewelry store and the owner tries to sell you diamonds for $1,000 to $3,000 to $5,000. You'd probably like just go outside and get free diamonds, right? You see, the problem is that most coaches, especially in the online fitness spaces where I live, is that they think client acquisition is all about platforms or tactics or just doing more volume, more output. That's what people say. But you've already been trying those things and you're still struggling to get clients, right? And so it would be like the same thing as like somebody just like, I'm just going to work out harder. I'm just going to freaking, yeah, maybe if you're doing nothing, like do stuff, right? It's awesome. If somebody's like, I don't know what to do, just go like lift some weights, right? So it's just like the business owner. It's like, I'm not really sure how to like go and freaking just post content. But to a certain degree, it's not about posting anymore. It's not just about DMing people. You could DM people until your freaking fingertips turn blue, and maybe you get one client out of like 1,000 people because people are smart. They're sophisticated. They don't like they're following people now that are hitting some of these triggers, right? So instead of just posting and praying, DMing tons of people, wasting money on expensive ads, what you need to do is refine your message so that it influences your potential clients to want to buy your stuff. I'm going to say that again. Write this down. Refine your message so that it influences your potential clients to want to buy your stuff. Then you plug that messaging into a strategic content cadence. That way you can get actual predictable leads, inbound leads, people raising their hand for things, reaching out to you, and then installing a simple conversion system to keep calls booked on your calendar consistently and new clients rolling in. When you do it like this, the conversions do become much easier because you're relying on your messaging and your content to do the heavy lifting for you. You know that you have a reliable way to get clients for the rest of your life. Does that make sense? Now, I'm going to walk you through a simple 3-step process that I've used to go from freaking struggling and inconsistent leads and calls and clients and just really stressful time as a business owner to now having plenty of leads and plenty of calls booked and plenty of clients and a lot of cash flow that's consistently coming in our business. And so the first step, I now call it a messaging mastery makeover because quite frankly, that's pretty much what it is. It's we're making over your messaging. And so when I do this for students, what I'm doing is I do a complete overhaul in their messaging. So what I'm going to advise to you, I'm going to show you some things that you could do, is a complete overhaul on your message to sharpen it up so that it converts consistently. You got to pull apart your existing messaging and rebuild it from the ground up, reassembling all of the pieces, which I'm going to show you, in the right order so that you say the right words to the right people. This is what will increase your conversions. Now let me pop over this sheet. Let me share my screen. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, just shoot me a DM and just say the word content sheet and I'll send this to you. But I'll talk through this right now. So the hero message ingredients, right? And let me zoom in even more so you can see this bad boy. There's going to be a lot of different things, different ingredients that you have. So in my brand, I call this the hero message. Pretty much you want to know like what the struggles are, the complaints, the unwanted feelings, what your people are doing wrong, and I'll pull this back up in a second, but what they're doing wrong, the mistakes they're making or the actions they're taking that aren't working, why it's not working for them, what beliefs do they have to why they're not getting results? Do they believe, say in weight loss, it's their genetics? Do they believe that they have to eat really low calories and work out a lot? Right? What are the beliefs they have to why they're not getting results? Or what are the limiting beliefs they have to what they think they have to do to get results? Get all that stuff down, right? Then you want to get down, like, what's their aspiring identity? What does that transformation look like to them? Not just like, I want to lose a little bit of weight or I want to make a little bit of money. Well, what's that aspiration? I was going to say freaking-ration. Is that a word? What's that aspiration? Like, what's the aspiring identity that they want to step into? And then what are some of the emotional triggers? Like, what lies are they believing? What are those secret desires that they really want to have, right? What are the false problems or secret fears? What complaints do they have? Like, what are they complaining about to their friends? Like, what's pissing them off right now? And I don't just mean like political stuff or whatever, right? But like about what you help them solve, right? Are they like, man, this freaking fat just keeps popping over my belt right now, right? Is that what are they saying to the, like, I don't know why, like, why can Maria lose this weight, but I can't lose this weight? Like, what the heck, what is Maria doing? Like, what are they complaining about to their friends? These are the emotional things. What do they feel guilty about? What resentments do they have? What judgments, who's judging them? Who do they feel is judging them? Like, what are they seeing out there? What are their real needs? And what are the consequences if it doesn't happen? I know this is a lot. This is why I do this for people. But it takes a lot if you want to actually grow an online business and you want to make the client acquisition process easier. You've got to do this work, right? And then there's the influence part of things. This is where you're coming up with things, with the epiphanies is the word I was looking for, that you got to have that your audience needs to believe. These are going to be the same epiphanies that you've had, right? So you want to start thinking about like the beliefs they have to what do they think they need to do to solve the problem. So say you're in weight loss, you're helping people lose weight, right? And they believe that they just have to go on extreme diets and they have to work out really, really hard all of the time and run on treadmills. That's how they think they're going to permanently lose weight. What are the beliefs that you need them to believe? Because you're like, I don't know, that's probably not right. So what are the beliefs you need them to believe? What are their beliefs around time, around money, around getting help from people, from coaches like you? You got to come up with you got to understand, not come up with, you got to understand what your ideal client believes, and then you got to shift those beliefs. It's like Napoleon Hill says in the book, Think and Grow Rich. Our beliefs are formed from our identity, right? So your audience is in a current identity and they believe certain things to be true about themselves, about the world, about the problems that they have. And those beliefs create these habitual thoughts. And those thoughts create our state, right? Our feelings, our emotion, our state. And that guides our actions. And our actions create our results. And so if you want your audience with your content to take different actions, like work with you, reach out to you, move forward, then you've got to get them to shift their thinking. You got to change their beliefs. When you can shift the beliefs, you will get so many more freaking people in your inbox. It's like crazy, but it works because it's based off of science, I think, or spiritual principles. It's based off of shit that works, right? And so I want you to think about your messaging like a grocery store, right? So as you can see, there's all of these different elements. Just like in a grocery store, there's like donuts and cereal and meat and veggies and fish and ice cream, what other random shit I could think of right now. And if mixed together, it probably tastes bad. If you took all of those things and mixed them together, it probably tastes like crap. But if you pair a steak with a potato and some broccoli, it's a nice meal, right? If you pair lettuce and tomatoes and oil and vinegar, it's a pretty good salad. And if you pair pie with ice cream, it's a good dessert, especially heated up. But eat all of them together and you're kind of messed up. Like, come on, homie, you're messed up. Like, what are you doing, right? But when separated in the right order, everything tastes freaking good. And so your messaging is the same. You got to get all of those ingredients right here, all of these ingredients that I just talked through, and you got to put them in the right order, right? So you could post and pray all day long, but with the wrong stuff, your audience just won't buy. But when you say the right words in the right order to the right people, you'll cut through the noise and you'll get more inbound leads. This way, when you post content, it'll be easier to connect and generate inbound DMs. And so the next step here is what I call strategic content distribution. This is where you're going to post your messaging in a way that creates instant engagement from the right people. Because you could say the wrong thing, you could say the right thing to the wrong people a million times, nobody's going to engage with you. But you could say the right thing to the right people just once, and they will engage with you. And so you got to take the stuff from step one, all those ingredients, and plug them into a strategic content cadence. And then what you do is I'll show you an example in just a moment, but you want to create content campaigns using the 4 types of content. So there's connection content. This is content where you're like posting things about your values, lifestyle, beliefs. Does that make sense? I'm going to show you an example in a minute. And then you have influence, right? This is where you're sharing content like specifically to shift somebody's perspectives, dismantle some of the commonly held objections that they have, or discredit some of the limiting beliefs they have and the mistakes they're making. Then you have authority content. Authority content is where I call thought leadership. This is where you're maybe showing social proof and it's more teachy. This is kind of like the traditional teach stuff, right? And then you have conversion content. This is content that is intentionally designed to convert your audience. And so back to the sheet. So you bucket here, and again, if you want the sheet, if you're on YouTube, you could just click the link below, and I'll have it for you. You can just download it. And if you're on listening on the podcast, just shoot me a message, and I'll send it over to you. So you can see there's different types of content, right? We have like strategic rants under connection, lifestyle, fun, questions, personal story, like things that are going to connect with your audience. Then we have belief shifting stuff, right? Where you're posting content to maybe discredit like a mistake that they're making to solve their problem, where you're literally just poking holes in limiting beliefs and you're giving your audience that same epiphany that you once had, right? Then there's authority content that is, again, more social proof, thought leadership, where you're teaching stuff at them. And then there's conversion content where you're literally getting people to raise their hands. You're doing strategic videos, workshops, masterclasses, maybe direct offers, things like that. And then you could see, right, certain content is going to hit certain psychological triggers, right? Connection is going to typically attract more people because it's hitting more on an emotional trigger. Whereas authority content is going to be more rational, more logical, and it's going to also attract a lot of people. You have influence content, it's going to hit more emotional, right? It's going to hit people emotionally, and when done right, logical. And then you have conversion content, which is going to hit people in the rational, and again, when done right, the emotional side of things as well. I would do in conjunction, so you create content campaigns out of that. If you think about a good workout program, it's really as simple as that, where like some people are going to do 6-day workout splits. Some people will do 3-day workout splits, some 4, some 5. There's no one right or wrong way, but what does matter is that there is a right way for you, depending on where you are in business. If you're just getting started, you're probably going to do more volume, so you can collect data. If you've been in the game for a minute, you'll probably do more quality, right? So like me, when I work out, for example, I'm doing a 3 to 4 day workout split with my strength training. And I'm doing push day, pull day, leg day, things like that. Well, with your content, you just want to make sure you're strategically mixing in the right amounts of connection, influence, authority, and conversion so that you can get the desired results that you want. More leads, more calls booked, more clients. And so in addition to that, I would also create what I call a content asset, like a mini VSL, where you're selling people on you, your unique solution, and the required beliefs that you need them to believe. This way you don't have to DM 50 plus people a day because your messaging and content will do the heavy lifting for you. And that way in step 3, which I just call cash conversion because that's what you're doing, you're converting clients into cash, and now your business is growing, you're helping people, everybody wins. You do this in a way without chasing leads. And I do have some things that I personally have done, like around our follow-up systems and our DM processes, our sales processes. But for most people, it's going to be relatively straightforward. Like once you get people into your sales process, like most good coaches can convert people. So it's like you just got to get your content, and your messaging content should do the heavy lifting. And then the rest is relatively straightforward, right? For most coaches, is the easy part. So again, if you'd like to see a sample content calendar with all the examples, templates, frameworks, you can click the link in the description below, or just shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram and just say the word content templates, and I'll make sure I send it over to you. So again, with that being said, my friend, information itself is a commodity right now. And so if you're out there just posting more and more content, you're stuck in this kind of like content commodity trap, and your content's going kind of ignored, or at least ignored by the right people. You're getting engagement, but you're not getting consistent sales. That's the problem. It's going to be your messaging and how you're distributing it. So refine your messaging, create a strategic content distribution or content cadence, and then just make sure you have your conversion system in place, and you're going to be able to, I got to mince my words here because easy is relative. For me, it's pretty easy to acquire clients, right? Depending on your skills. But if you follow this process, it's going to be a heck of a lot easier doing it like this than doing it this like outdated way of just posting and praying that it gets results. So if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, click that damn subscribe button. So follow this channel for more so you can get more videos like this delivered right to your feed. As always, remember your message matters more now than it ever has before. Don't be afraid to speak it. As always, be seen, be heard, and be impactful.